Bonjour. Muito beleza? Hi, my name is James Cooke. That's my government name. And I was asked to kind of put together this short video and to explain a little bit about who we are, our culture and identity. And what you see here in front of you is one of the items that we utilize in our area. Treaty 3, Northwestern Ontario, Robinson Superior. This is a traditional drum. And she's actually a grandmother. This is a grandmother. And the reason she's a grandmother is that's what she presented herself as. And the reason I say she presented herself as, each one of these drums has its own significant meaning, purpose. Each one of these drums, when it's passed down to an individual, there's actual several things that individual has to be able to acquire and have to do before you carry this responsibility of carrying one of these drums. And that responsibility is to have a good heart, be in a good place, be drug-free, alcohol-free, and try to follow the tradition and culture and the identity of who we are as Anishinaabe people. And the reality of this is that very few people are given that responsibility to carry a drum of this nature, because this is healing, this is our community, this is our identity. And even though I don't carry this drum particularly, this drum belongs to an organization who is now trying to find their own identity and who they are, representing Anishinaabe children, moving forward, trying to gather that sense of healing. So, and this drum came to them, and why I'm sitting here presenting to it, because I was kind of asked. I have a strong connection to this grandmother. And the reason I have a strong connection to this grandmother, I actually dreamt about this drum before she even came to me. And when she came to me, I went to this organization. She presented herself, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I knew what I was supposed to do. I needed to bring her, change her up a little bit. I had to dress her up a little bit different. I had to provide her with these staffs. I had to provide her with the thunderstick. I also had to fix up the pipe, because there are certain elements that may complete this whole process about this traditional drum. Is the pipe, the drum, the staffs, the feathers, the thunderstick, the medicine. Everything works in conjunction together. And that's exactly what these drums do. They represent the individual, they represent the identity, the community, and most of all, the connection to the Creator. So when you work with all these elements together, it brings together that conformity, brings everybody together. And we bring these drums out to celebrate life. We bring it out to bring community together, to bring that sense of healing, to bring that sense of honor amongst ourselves as Anishinaabe people. Because when you sit in that circle, and when these grandparents visit with other grandfathers and grandmothers in the circle, and you see amidst of traditional drums in a ceremony, it's a very powerful place to be. Because the reason it's a very powerful place is that each one of these has a spirit. And like I said, this one is a grandmother. Running Buffalo is the English name. Gijibite Bijike is one way of translating, as means running buffalo. And each one of our territories, these drums come in a different fashion, a different way. But with this traditional drum, and really how we distinguish the difference is a couple things. For a grandmother, it's usually the shirt will define that. Usually one with shirts with a little bit more vibrant, more color into it. Usually give you a good indication of the identity of what that drum is. What if it is, it's a male or a female. And the big distinctive point for our area, for Robinson Superior and Treaty 3 area, is our staffs. You see our staffs, they're hooked, which also represents the closing, which also represents the womb, and also represents the woman. And that's how we define what our traditional grandmother drums look like. And we also, as you see, looking at this drum, you'll see there's a lot going on, because there's a lot of healing that takes place in ceremony. You'll notice that the pipe, I have it sitting down over here, but you'll notice that there's the feathers all the way around. You'll also know there's colors on each one of these feathers. There's also direction. And how this works is that each one of these staffs I have going a certain one way, and only one way only. We always start everything to the east. Everything we do in life in regards to our culture and identity, or our character and following tradition in regards to these drums, is we always start to the east. And that east will define who we are. It's the same as the sun rising. But we start like that, and then we work clockwise. And the colors on this drum here represent the green for the east, the red for the south, blue for the north, and yellow. Yellow for the north. And I've been asked a couple times, why is the yellow in the north when the sun rises in the east? And I said, good question. I haven't been able yet to answer that question. But the reason I'm saying that is, this drum was put together in the fashion of what it was seen in a dream. The dream defined what it was. And to be honest, that this drum is still trying to find out who, it knows who it is, it knows its name, it knows where it's come from, and understands its purpose. It also understands that it's a traveling drum, which means it's going to be traveling from place to place to place to be part of ceremony. And also with it comes a responsibility with these drums, is that now you have to understand that there are several songs that come with it. And the number one thing I was always taught was the tobacco comes first. Sema, that tobacco will always provide you and guide you in the right way. It's the same as this feather. I was always taught when I talk like this, I have to represent truth. But remember, this is only my truth. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth of everybody else. Everybody else has a different interpretation or a different teaching or a different understanding. Depends on who you are. It's no different than who we are as individuals, because each one of us has its own journey, its own purpose, its own meaning, and its own understanding. And it's the same as these drums that we carry. Each one of them has a purpose. With these drums, there are songs that go with it. There's a pipe song. Each one of these staffs will have a song. Each one of these feathers will have a song. This shirt will even have a song. And the reality of this is when you first sound these drums, you sing these 4 songs that come out that represent that drum. There are 4 primary songs at the beginning that you sing that to honor and acknowledge the spirit. And I'll acknowledge the grandmother that sits here before you. Because every time we sound her, we're bringing her back to life. And when we hang her up, we're allowing her to visit with everybody else around. And when we sit in ceremony, when she's hanging, she's ready to work. She's ready to do the healing. Us as people that sit around the drums, all we become is an extension of these drums. We become the hands, the feet, the voice. We become part of it. Spirit speaks through us, through these drums, and it's our responsibility to figure out what that responsibility is, what it is that drum wants us to do. And that's the beauty about it is being able to follow here and understanding truthfully what's going on. The heartbeat, because that heartbeat is not only here, it is also a reflection of this drum. Because when you sit these two together, and then when we sing, we mimic our own heartbeats. And then we hit these grandmothers or these grandfathers. When you sound these drums, it vibrates a sound right through all Mother Earth. It reconnects back into Mother Earth and sounds that heartbeat of Mother Earth right down below. And the reason I say that is, and it's how powerful it is. And when you talk about healing, laughter, and being proud people as Anishinaabe, I can share this one story with you. Years ago, we were at a ceremony. We were asked to go down to the States. And a lot of these people never have seen these drums before. And they wanted to know who we were and what it was all about. And we went down with 4 different drums. I think we went down with 2 grandmothers and 2 grandfathers. Well, anyways, what happened was that we were there for 3 days. On that second day, we were doing majority of the singing. There was 9 of us, and we were jumping from drum to drum to drum to drum. Just boom, 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 drumming. But what was beautiful about it was that more people kept coming and more people kept coming. By the evening session, we had more dancers than we could the dancers were louder than what we were, because it just, you can hear it, feel the vibration, you can feel the healing, you can feel that. And listening to those jingle dress dancers, just giving it all they got. That's the beauty about these drums, because it brings people together, brings that health, brings that healing, brings everybody together in a long way. Trust me, I can go on much longer about these drums, but this gives you the basic understanding of who you are. And the simplest way I can end this with is that understanding yourself, taking care of you, understanding your own heartbeat. Because when you open your heartbeat up here, things like this will appear. So I want to leave you with that. Follow your heart, follow your dreams, and talk to somebody that knows what they're doing. For that, I want to say, Chief Neighbors, aha.